format of video. This is like the 100th time I'm recording because I can never be satisfied with what I'm recording. New format, obviously. Nobody gets to see my face a lot because I am really self-conscious. But I figured, you know, fuck it. Let's try it. Let's experiment with it. If anybody likes it, you know, tell me in the comments. I'm actually sitting on my fucking floor right now because I was too lazy to move shit off my bed and my fucking chair. So I have to sit on the floor, but you also get a great view of all my chibis I've drawn. I'm going to try also moving some of them and putting up some of my witch challenge ones because I'm really fucking proud of the witch challenge ones. But yes, you can see my room is fucking a huge mess. But yeah, let's get started. I've mentioned this before and have been ranting about it quite a bit on Twitter about season 6 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. This is because even with my nostalgia of the show and looking up to Buffy as a little girl, I find season 6 to indeed ruin a lot of what was built up without getting any break from just the pure misery and pure uninterest of season 6. There are many reasons why season 6 failed to live up to previous seasons, but I've narrowed it down, so let's explain what I think are the main reasons, from least to most when it comes to ranking how worse these reasons are. The trio, Dawn, Buffy coming back from the dead, Anya and Xander's relationship, Tara and Willow's relationship, and Buffy and Spike's relationship. Lots of relationships in this fucking season that were just completely fucked over. So let's get started on the trio. The trio is a group made of 3 characters who want to become the crime lords of Sunnydale. 2 of the characters we already know, this being Jonathan, who we had seen multiple appearances of throughout the series, and even his own whole episode in season 4, where he casts a spell in which he is the best at everything. And then we've seen Warren, who had a hand in creating the Buffy bot for Spike and had created his own robot girlfriend who ended up tracking him down in season 5. The episode specifically was I Was Meant to Love You. The last character in their group, though, is one of insignificance who was never really mentioned before, named Andrew, but it is revealed that he is the brother of Tucker, the kid at the end of season 3 who releases hellhounds on the prom for revenge. Now, the idea of the trio is not a bad one. I think it is an interesting take, as Buffy hasn't had no real human enemies before who have posed major threats, but the way it is executed, of course, takes a lot away from it. Instead of moments where you feel that these boys are capable of something greater, you get really goofy ones where they pose no real threat. I understand why these moments exist, but it doesn't change the fact that in the end, I saw none of them as threatening. Not even Warren, who was the one who killed his ex-girlfriend and was looking to even up the kill count he had. The most interesting aspect, though, of the trio is when we see Andrew becoming more and more sadistic like Warren, and when you see Jonathan not wanting to really kill or harm anyone, but just wanting to be cool and get what he wants since he never really had that power. This by far is the most intriguing part, as we know Jonathan the most and know he is really no killer or someone who wants to harm people. In fact, he just wants to be noticed and wants friends, and we know this, and so people, I think, can sympathize and care about his character most out of all the trio boys. While not the worst aspect of the season, it does not help, but it certainly does not detract from the other issues. The next issue I have is Dawn's character in season 6. I thought her character in season 5 was much more understandable, as she figured out she wasn't a fucking normal 15-year-old girl and that she was instead something supernatural. I felt her reactions were far more real, far more understanding, and far more entertaining to see. But then we get her in season 6. And most of the time she's whining that no one will spend time with her because everyone else has shit to do, which is what grown-ups have to do. And she just becomes a whiny teenage girl. It's so unlike most of the teenagers we've seen in Buffy who have had significance to the plot. I mean, if we saw Buffy and Willow and Xander all as teenagers, and none of them acted this way necessarily. They had moments where they acted like that because they were still teenagers, but they didn't go so beyond that it was annoying to watch. And even as someone who watched it multiple times as a teenager, I could not relate to her as much as I could with Buffy and Willow and Xander, who acted like teenagers, but still it wasn't overbearing. Now, Buffy coming back from the dead, in my honest opinion, was a mistake. It leads to the down spiral of Buffy's character being almost and completely, utterly broken and not caring really about herself or others. Not to mention, they take this great concept that Buffy wasn't in a hell dimension, but she was in a heavenly one, and they took it and made it into Buffy constantly being depressed and in misery and almost whiny. Don't get me wrong, I love episodes where Buffy shows that she is human like any of us, that she doesn't always have to be strong and stoic, but she can still cry and feel pain. But we don't get a break from the reminder that she feels miserable. Even when she claims to be doing better, we somehow just get right sucked back into the misery and despair and hopelessness. And this is just not a path that should be gone down when we have a show like Buffy. Not to mention, the ending of season 5 will always triumph over any other ending in the whole series. I'm sorry, but the fact that Buffy died protecting everyone she loved and everything she cared about and was willing to make that choice to give up her life, not just for the world, but for the people she loved, made it so much more meaningful. And her speech at the end was just heartbreaking. And the scene where everyone is gathering around her body, especially Spike crying during that scene, always fucking tears me apart. Because it is meaningful but depressing, and it's the best end for her character because she's a fucking warrior. She's supposed to die in a heroic way. But this wasn't where they decided to end the show, and they decided to end it later on, so it almost has no meaning later on. Anya and Xander were possibly one of the best couples in the whole fucking show. When Xander proposed to Anya in season 5, I was genuinely really happy because they are the perfect couple. They are the ones who beat all odds and are there for each other to teach and learn from each other, with Xander teaching Anya to become human and Anya teaching Xander to be more open about his emotions. But season 6 takes this and turns Xander into an indecisive bastard and makes him leave Anya at the altar, leading her to become a fucking vengeance demon again. Xander completely destroys her and then has the fucking audacity to say he still wants to be with her. I get the idea was he sees that they're not really ready, but in all honesty, they were. It would have been really nice to see a sweet couple who came from two completely different worlds actually get married and be happy and fight demons together and all this cool, unique shit that you could have done. But nope, season 6 takes this sweet and happy concept and crushes it. I know, I am certainly not the only one who wanted Xander and Anya to actually be happy together, because it is a wonderful and awesome concept for this show that is just constantly filled with misery and pain. To have at least just one win, just one, would be nice. And even then, you could show the struggles of marriage, because everybody knows it's not all sunshines and rainbows, especially if you add in the demon fighting part. Along with Xander and Anya, Tara and Willow were my favorite couple. Not just because it was a gay couple, but because it was a genuinely good, happy, and healthy couple who gave the show some hope, and it did bring attention to LGBT characters, when at a time it was really a no-no or just wasn't largely represented, especially in TV shows. I do like that they portrayed it as a normal couple and did not really shove your face with it, and I just hate to see that taken away. They were really a beautiful couple, and it did give messages for LGBT people at that time, but that was robbed of us. Now for the worst part, Spike and Buffy's relationship. I love their relationship in season 7, where he has a soul and earns that shit and actually is there for Buffy when everyone turns on her. But season 6, they take a lot of great concepts like Spike fighting his demon side to become a better man for her, but ultimately losing because he's still demon. But no, we have to see them both be abusive and manipulative towards each other instead of actually seeing them grow close. Instead of seeing his animalistic and demon side lead to him hurting her and her actually growing to care about him rather than his dick. But it just didn't go that way. I think having them have this weird and abusive relationship was a wrong choice, as we expect Spike to be this way as he has no soul. But Buffy? They excuse away Buffy's use in games with Spike as, well, she's depressed because she went from heaven to here. And as someone who suffers sometimes pretty bad depression and has shit like PTSD, I find this incredibly insulting. Just because you are hurting inside and upset or suffer trauma or have depression, it does not make it okay to use and abuse people. And that's what Buffy did. She did use and abuse Spike. And Spike was okay with this because he was a demon and he didn't really care, but like I said, you expected Spike to do this. This also leads to the scene that actually kind of upset me, where Spike tries to RAPE Buffy. That's right, he tries to harm her in that way, and I frankly cannot stand watching that scene, because even though Buffy was abusive and we kind of expect this behavior from Spike, and he later on regrets it and that's what ultimately leads him to getting his soul, I still cannot stand this scene. I think it would have been much better to have Spike and Buffy grow closer, and as they grew closer, him still hurt her in an emotional way, but in this way, it upsets me a lot to see it, because it was not needed. And even though the scene itself is not totally graphic, it is still not the best scene to watch, and it does make you uncomfortable. And I understand that's part of the reason. It might be my own bias speaking on that scene, but I want to know what you guys think about that scene. Like, is it kind of upsetting for you to see Buffy almost taken advantage of by Spike, or do you think that scene was needed? Please tell me, because I cannot really make up my mind with that scene. And there you have it, my review of season 6 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, or at least some of it. I had many more thoughts as I had just recently rewatched season 6 and was remembering why I do not like it. The best episode, obviously, I think is Once More with Feeling, because it is kind of one of the most light-hearted episodes. It gives you goofy songs like I'll Never Tell, where Xander and Anya are singing to each other about all the issues that they have with each other and why they're worried about marriage but they still want to be together, is fucking amazing. Or the love song between Tara and Willow. I fucking love that song. It's so cutesy and romantic. And even Something to Sing About is an emotional song, and you realize why Buffy is feeling this way. And she reveals to all her friends why she isn't really happy there. That whole episode was one of the best episodes, yet the whole season itself falls flat. Anyways, tell me what you guys think about season 6 of Buffy in the comments down below. What's your favorite season of Buffy? Go ahead and tell me that too. If you watch Buffy, are you a fan of Buffy? Do you fucking despise Buffy like Chris does? Or, you know, anything like that. Just tell me in the comments, and also tell me how you like this format of video. And if you like content like this, go ahead and subscribe, because I will try actually making a schedule for uploading content. And if you guys like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, because that would make my day. And now to lecture you all on why I've changed my channel in such a drastic way. So if y'all don't know, I started my YouTube channel about 5 to 6 years ago. So when I was 12 to 13, I started this channel because I was really into narrations and I wanted to start my own narrations. So I had done that. I had started it forever ago, and it was originally actually going to be a vlogging channel with me and my friend, but she didn't want to do it anymore, so I just went ahead and started doing horror narrations. And since then, I've grown really tired of doing it. I do not see much creativity in it anymore. And so I've moved on. I will no longer be doing narrations unless I am reading things that I've done myself. Even then, I don't think I'm going to be doing any narrations anytime soon. I am moving again towards reviews and true crime, and still trying to keep up with the Frightening 5 stuff, but I might stop doing the Frightening 5 stuff. I loved doing it and I loved making the scripts, but it takes so much time, especially to edit those, that I don't know how frequently I will be doing them, but I will try to do some of them, because I know some people like those and I did like making them for everybody. But like I said, I want to stick mostly to true crime and reviews, because I feel those are better use of any talents I have. I'm far better at script writing and stuff like that, and those are usually videos that require scripts that I can usually make, because they're more video essays and stuff like that, and I think I'm way better at making video essays than anything else. So yeah, that's really why I've changed it, and that's why I'm not going by Freaky Faith anymore, because I felt Freaky Faith was more connected with narrations and stuff, not so much as Feifei, which is just the nickname I got when I was really little. You know, I think creating this new persona of myself and making the channel more into something like this where I can actually be more proud and I feel like I'm making something of a difference, like specifically with the true crime stuff, I think will be very beneficial. So if you guys don't like how my content is changing, I don't want to force you to be subscribed to me or anything. You guys can unsubscribe if you don't want to see any of my reviews and if you're only sticking around for the narrations. But if you do like my reviews and true crime, please stick around because I will be doing more of that, and I'm actually very excited for this new direction I will be taking my channel into. So yes, that's all, and as always, I will see you guys next time. Peace out.